Bienvenidos, Cancers. We are going to attempt to do this again. I recorded your reading previously on another device that I normally use to do my videos, and for whatever reason it wasn't just your sign. Like literally every sign that I did on that device, just the video got recorded and the audio was great, everything was great. However, it just did not want to upload onto YouTube. And so I changed devices, and so far everything on this device is uploading onto YouTube. And so that's a bit annoying, but here we are again. I will share with you briefly before I get into it. I am going to do bones. I did bones for every sign, and this is going to be for Cancer, sun, moon, and rising signs, and or rising signs. I will share with you the message that I was getting was pertaining to like generational trauma clearing, a need for you to meditate, a need for you to reevaluate any distortion of your mind so that you can also learn to master your emotions. That was a big thing. There was a major thing about like family also. So I don't know what's gonna come out in this time. I just kind of wanted to share that with you all. If by any chance, if I am able to upload the video after this one is already uploaded, I would just label it as bonus, just because those messages were very clear and direct. I don't remember all the channeled messages because they're not my messages. They are channeled for you. And so if I am able to upload it, I will, and it'll just be as a bonus video. So if you see that, then you know why. All right, so I invite you all to just take a moment here to center into your body. We're going to step our egos to the side so that I am used by Spirit of the Most High, most divine and benevolence and truth and righteous and perfect love and perfect trust, to be a conduit as a messenger for your highest and greatest good. I invite you to take a deep inhale through the nose with me here. Hold and anchor in perfect love, perfect trust, heart to heart, soul to soul. And exhale. Okay, because this is a general collective message, I invite you to call into your higher self, to call in your spirit guides, and allow yourself to have discernment in the messages for you here. Know what messages are for you. Please take what resonates. If there is a message that does not resonate with you, but is in fact a message that you need to hear for your highest and greatest good, but perhaps you are resisting this message, I invite divine intervention to come into your life to show you tangible confirmation and proof to validate the message is for your highest and greatest good, as long as you also invite that divine intervention as you will it. If the message is in fact not for your highest and greatest good, and it's not your fucking message, that the divine intervention also comes in to remove this message out of your psyche, out of your earthly experience, your physical, spiritual experience here, so that you are not receiving any false light projections. Okay, y'all, that is the disclaimer I always use, and we're gonna get started for your message here. I don't even know if you're going to get the same bones or not. I don't even remember what was the same bones, but let's see here. Ooh, there's a lot of legwork here, a lot of actions that's needing to be taken here. Things that was once broken. There could also be, we do have on April 12th, the full moon is in the sign of Libra. and it is opposite Chiron. And so whenever I see this energy here, this tells me that there is a deeply seated womb that is hard for you to break out of. This pattern here that you've been perhaps working on really strongly. There's a lot of emotions here, but with this energy here, this tells me that you go from here to like broken pieces, needing to heal, really trying to make changes in your life, or needing to make major changes that maybe you've been avoidant to. Even the areas where you have been hurtful to others is maybe boomeranging back to you, or even it could be vice versa. Maybe people were being hurtful to you, and that energy is really being backlash to them here. But nonetheless, this tells me about a womb that is deeply seated in your subconscious mind, that maybe you've been suppressing or repressing for a really long time, or maybe you're aware of it, but you're avoiding the healing process of it. It's really difficult for you. It's hard for you. Maybe you've given up on it, or you're not even really looking at it. This tells me that you have to put in the work there, and you have to connect with your emotional body in a way of emotional intelligence for emotional regulation here. There's a lot of changes that you're going to have to make that's going to require you to be emotionally mature for this here, so that stability in your foundation can truly bring you to a space of moving forward here. The number 3 can be very significant to you. This could also be that there's certain people in your life that you hold near and dear to you in your foundation that perhaps are creating imbalances in your life, or are trying to cause emotional distress, while also simultaneously like bringing in a form of stability. And so you're trying to navigate through those waters. That can also be like maybe some codependency issues or something like that. Maybe having to work through that, right? And so we're just gonna, I did pre-shuffle your cards here in the bottom of the deck. We have the 9 of Cups. And so let's just see here what your current energy is for the month of April for Cancer. I don't even know why I did that like that. I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna do it the way I've actually am guided to do it. For Cancer, spiritual lessons. I told you there's a lot of spiritual lessons here for you, Cancers. Okay, some of you Cancers could be walking away from a marriage possibly, or a divine union, or some family dynamics, some spiritual, yep. You're really trying to bring balance back into your life here. There could have been a battle of the egos here. There could have been a need to kind of balance out your feminine and masculine energies here so you can make better decisions in your life. It could have been that maybe there was just certain people that didn't have the same agenda as you. They weren't equally yoked as you. Or it could even be a project that maybe you started and you didn't necessarily finish, or maybe you just break promises really easy. Maybe you're someone that doesn't honor their word, or you're like really maybe with like family, you're a certain type of way where you don't really honor, the family dynamic, but in a relationship you're in a whole different way. Or this could be that like the way you perceive your emotional value to the people outside of you is very different than it would be a lover or something like that here. There's something about needing to balance out your emotions. Absolutely. This could also be womb healing, mother wounds even. For some of you, like I mentioned, the traumas, but you walking away from emotional distress so that you can get, you could allow yourself to heal in the space where, let me see. We have the Three of Swords in the bottom of the deck. Yeah, so this could very well be like a third-party situation. This could also be where there was, where the third party be family, like maybe family intervening in your business, or someone was cheating, or this could just simply be just a breakup. Maybe somebody divorced you, or you going through a separation of some sort that really caused a deep pain in your life. This could also be maybe there was certain health issues going on in the dynamic here. Doesn't necessarily have to be, your story. Spirit, tell me a little bit more here in the month of April for Cancer. Tell me a little bit more here for the month of April for Cancer. Ooh, the Empress, yeah. Someone could have been somebody could have been pregnant. Perhaps somebody was either got pregnant and was making a decision to if they wanted to keep the baby. This could be that maybe somebody had a miscarriage, an abortion, or stillborn here, or this could be definitely an ending to a relationship here that just wasn't really honoring your dynamic. Tell me a little bit more here. There could have been like parasitic energies, but I do feel like there was divine intervention from your angels here to help you navigate into the space of moving forward. There could have been some addiction issues or health issues here, maybe certain pharmaceuticals. Nonetheless, there was a massive ending here that needed to occur for that balance to get back in alignment. Now, what I will say in the month of April, with me seeing this energy here, there could be, we did have Venus in retrograde. However, Venus is going back direct. The reason why I bring that, we have the Empress card here. With the Death card here and Temperance, you have 3 major arcanas. You have 4 major arcanas here out of the 6 cards. So this is a major month for you in the month of April. And I do feel like, because later in the year, we have Jupiter ingressing into the sign of Cancer, which is your sign, and Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer. So this energy could be telling me that whatever parasitic energies was around, any energies that was coming in as a spiritual lesson that truly felt hurtful, that was painful, whatever separation was going on here, this was so that you could bring a death to those types of addictions or problems or relationships, right? So that you can have better balance with yourself and healthier discernment and heal. Maybe you are someone who has a strong temper. We do have Mars in the sign of Cancer currently, and Mars was retrograde. Mars has been direct for some time, and so there could have been a lot of lessons that was meant to serve as a, excuse my incense ashes here, that was meant to serve as spiritual lessons for you to learn how to mitigate and emotionally regulate, right? If someone from the past tries to come in to reconcile, if this is an individual that very much is someone who has been toxic from the beginning, they're not really someone that's coming through with love, I would let bygones be bygones and let the past be the past and keep it keep it in a space where it's the past, and you allow yourself to really transform into a greater version of yourself, because that's what your spiritual counsel is actually helping you through. They're helping you through this death, rebirth, your phoenix rising energy here, so that you can be in alignment with your magnetism, with your wealth, with your love frequency here again. And like I said, there very much could have been, for some of you Cancers, and my condolences. I know I just kind of like went through that, and that's a major trigger warning. But whether you're a man or a woman, but especially if you're a woman, you may be having a very emotional hard time right now. If you did lose a baby, or you had to have an abortion or a miscarriage of some sort, because with this energy here, this very much talks about a need for healing in the womb space, due to spiritual consequences and spiritual lessons that you needed to learn. You could have been needing, to be in the space of a spiritual teacher, a spiritual practice here, and things didn't necessarily work out in the ways that you have thought, because they weren't supposed to. In the same token, you battling your ego and going through this shift here, with something that it kind of needed to happen so that you could evolve, so that you can grow into a more mature space. For some of you Cancers, this could very well be that maybe you've experienced that type of energy in the past, and you now, in the month of April, you come into a space of learning healthier coping mechanisms, healthier patterns in relationships, and not just relationships with a spouse, but relationships with your family, with yourself. Definitely bigger changes here. And like I felt a lot of generational traumas happening, so that you can get into a space of generational wealth. But this is about your health first and foremost, is really what I'm seeing here, and it is spiritually led. So Spirit, tell me a little bit more here for my Cancers, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of April. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. That's a lot of cards. I am going to take this one. Yep. Replenish your self-care. Going to just grab the other cards here. Replenish your self-care. Take, eat, drink your natural vitamins. Take a shower. Brush your hair, brush your teeth, take a nap, go out in nature, eat fruits. Spirit, tell me a little bit more here for my Cancers, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of April. That's a lot of cards. What, like, not just Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. There we go. You have a strong connection with water, and you are, let me see, does this fit here? And you are a water sign. Taurus energy is really strong here too. A Taurus can be involved, doesn't necessarily have to be. Or an earth sign can be involved, doesn't necessarily have to be. And a Sagittarius can be involved, doesn't necessarily. Sagittarius, Scorpio, I'm just telling you the signs that I see here on the board. Okay, but it says you have a strong connection to water. Speak life into your water. Drink more water. Water scries, spiritual baths, water fountains, bodies of water. Meditate in water, clean the beaches, rivers, etc. You are a water sign. So this is in fact for you. Oh my gosh, you have a connection with mermaids. Yeah, a lot of water here. So you could have a connection with like, I'm getting even certain orishas, and mermaids are different from sirens, to be clear. but like mermaids, going to the ocean can be very significant for you here. Some of you could have been like, maybe there was a spiritual teacher that you walked away from because you were like battling your ego, and maybe the universe does bring you into a space of reconciling your relationship and your connection, because you had to grow and change. That may not be everybody's story, but I'm kind of hearing that too. But nonetheless, you have a connection with mermaids. Now is the time to connect with them. Meditate with water scrying again. Listen to ocean or water sounds. Drink more water. Sing with passion and use seashell magics. Tell me a little bit more. Oh, clairvoyance. You can be very clairvoyant. So they're just kind of sharing your spiritual abilities. So I feel like as I'm taking a spiritual bath and clearing your energy from all this death, rebirth, transformation energy that you had to walk away from the past, cleansing your energy and getting into a space of connecting with your psychic abilities with water here, your spirituality here. Maybe you abandoned, maybe you were practicing some certain philosophies or sacred marriages, or having a certain devotion or commitment or something, and you walked away from it because of maybe ego, or maybe it was an imbalance, maybe it wasn't something that maybe you had some like old traumas or religious views that was conflicting with what it is that you was learning, and you had to come to a space of pausing and meditating to kind of find yourself again, or find your footing and seeing where you at, and getting into a space of learning how to connect more with your spiritual team here, especially your angels or your closest guardian angel. And then especially water and mermaids. Clairvoyance. You have the ability to perceive visions, images, symbols, or spirits that are not visible to the physical eye. You can be a seer, or have the ability to do remote viewing, or the ability to read minds, or even mind walk. So walking into someone's mind. Tell me a little bit more here for my Cancers for the month of April. These could be, telekinesis. Wow, this is so fucking powerful. Whew, okay, this is definitely a different reading from the original Cancer energy. And then this is in the bottom of the deck. I'm going to take it, and then one more. And then we're going to move on to the other cards. For Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I do find it interesting how like healing though is coming up a lot for Cancer at this time, needing to like take time to replenish yourself, slowing down, thinking before taking impulsive actions, right? Tell me one more card here. Thank you. All right. In the bottom of the deck, we have ancestors. Let me see if I can bring that, because I feel like that's really strong. There we go. Okay, so we also have telekinesis. You have the ability to move things with your mind, and there was mind walking here too. You have the ability, this ability is important for you to practice right now. Practice different strategies to expand. You are worthy and valuable. Source made no mistakes making you. Live in that truth and knowing that you are favored. A shift for the better is coming. You have a strong connection with earth magic. Connect with planets. Connect with plants. Manifestations in the physical realm is easy for you once you learn how to use the gift. Grounding, stability, wealth, and healing. Definitely a lot of healing. Definitely a lot of earth magic also. Ancestors are with you and guiding you. They want you to connect with them. Pay attention to how each one connects and communicates with you differently. Talk with them and give them some light, water, and say their names. Thank you, Spirit. Tell me a little bit more here for Cancers. What could Cancer expect in the month of April? Just 3 cards. That one flew out. Queen of Pentacles. Can you see that there? All right, we're just gonna. Tell me a little bit more for Cancers. Yep, one more. For this upcoming April. Whoa. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's definitely things were not working out for you. There was a lot of conflict, a lot of battle here, a battle for domination here. There was imbalances that needed to work out, that you needed to, we have the High Priestess and the Empress energy here. There could have been an earth sign, like I said, or a Capricorn. There was definitely a walking away from a situation that was just not allowing you to be your great self. This could have also been maybe in regards to work. Maybe some of you got fired from a job, or maybe some of you ended up quitting a job here, because intuitively, actually, I'm going to get 2 more cards here. Tell me 2 more cards here for what is to come in the month of April for Cancers. Tell me 2 more cards for what is to come in the month of April for my Cancers. So Cancers, I do see you coming into a space of minding your finances in the month of April. Yeah, you're going to have to be strong. A Leo can be involved also. We have the 8 of Swords. So this could be what you've been trying to avoid. Maybe your fears have really been getting in the way. I do remember the 8 of Swords coming in the last reading for you. Just because I remember the card. But here, a lot of this energy is different anyway. There could be a Leo involved, but there could be a strong need for you to, again, pay attention to your dream state here, practice your telekinesis, practice your clairvoyance, connect with your ancestors here, put healthy boundaries down, reevaluate your words and how you're speaking to people. Here, your intuition can be heightened at this time, and so knowing how to say no when you are being guided to say no, maybe being strong, remembering your strength here, gaining confidence, or working on your confidence or your solar plexus here. It could very well be that you were having some issues in the workspace. Maybe there was some gossip or something. Maybe somebody like defamation of character was lying on you, or and you're really needing to stand with integrity and stand up for yourself and not be afraid of what other people's opinions are also. Or maybe you are extremely temperamental and cold and cut dry with how you speak to people, and there's a need for you in the month of April to be stronger about how you emotionally regulate, or because with the 8 of Pentacles upright, this tells me that this is a skill, a craft that you have mastered. You're good at it. With it in reverse, you need the work. You need work in mastering your emotions. There's like a lot of emotional imbalances here. There's a need for you to work on this. There's a need for you to tap into your intuition and learn the difference between your intuitive voice and your traumatic voice here. um there could be certain that you can have a spiritual guru that is an earth sign possibly come up. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but this could also be just like connecting with the earth some more. We do actually have, you have a strong connection with earth magic, so taking the ability and the time to ground, trusting in your ability to manifest, recalibrating your thoughts here, strengthening and fortifying your psychic defenses, your confidence. Even you can have lots of dreams and be a natural manifestator, or even minding your projections. You could be, I don't know why I'm getting generator manifestator, or generator manifestator. I don't know if that's a thing in what is that even called? The I don't even know. I don't even know what's that called right now. Anyway, Spirit, we're going to ask the fairies here, what advice do we have here for our Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising? Fairy Godmother wanted to come out, and so did Nelly the Alchemist, which I do believe, I'm not sure. Let's see here. What advice did, just because they almost came out, but they went back in. For Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of April. What advice, what fairy message, what advice can we give? Oh, that's a lot of cards. What advice can we give? Okay, you keep wanting to get the Tree Lion. We have the Sullivans. And then we have here Mick the Micromancer. The Myomancer. I am going to briefly go over this so the number 34 can be significant. I really do feel like this is all connected. There could have been a Leo involved. Maybe you're letting go a Leo, or maybe you're confronting some like Debbie Downer energies or doubts here. So I am going to read from the book. Wow, I went straight. I literally grabbed the book and I said, I'm going to read from the book. And it literally went to the Tree Lion. I wasn't going to read the Tree Lion right away. The number 65 may be significant. Doesn't necessarily have to. So 42, 65, and 34. So the Tree Lion is about getting it right. It could be delayed completions or tidying up loose ends. In a reading, the feline looks out of his card accusingly, reminding us of things undone, promises unkept, and duties unfulfilled. I did get something. I think I mentioned that here about like not keeping promises, or something about broken promises here. He says that we can't expect to have things go right when we are trailing so much unfinished business behind us. Ooh, the unfinished business that you are avoiding. Yes. Dragging that stuff around tires us. It uses up energy that we need for other things. If we would just take care of these things that cause so much mental and sometimes physical clutter, we would suddenly find that we have a lot more energy at our disposal to do the things that we really want to do. And probably much more cooperation from others as well. He especially suggests that we take care of the little things that matters to others. We will feel so much better when we have done that, and so will he. All right, what I feel with this energy too is that if there has been any work or projects or something that needed to get done that you left unfulfilled, or you walked away from, you didn't really finish, whether it's you or someone else, like not letting the excuses get in the way. Maybe somebody has some excuses, or you're giving excuses, or you're letting other people give you excuses. And that's where like the boundaries have to be set and firm in regards to like getting it done. There's like a karmic thing here about avoidance issues and confronting that, and like not letting false projections or masks like kind of get in the way. Like, you are a seer, right? Didn't you have clairvoyance? Yeah, you are a seer, you are a high priestess, you are an empress energy here. You're not here to chase, you're here to attract. And in that, you can be still a meditation and allow yourself to be divinely guided by your ancestors, your angels, your mermaids, and your, you know, your spiritual crew, and not let somebody kind of like psych you out of your intuition and what is true. So if somebody has been making broken promises, seeing them exactly for who they are and not you know, fooling yourself. Let's see here. 34. Yes. So this is the Cell Venus. And this is about truth, cutting through deception. That's what this energy is here. Let's kind of change this here, because that's how it came out anyway. Truth, cutting through deception, and clarity. This is the mask of truth. In a reading, at this time, you are discovering new truths about yourself. They are essential for you to know in order to create relationships based on mutual respect, affection, and trust. These things can only work out if we ourselves and others these things can only work out if we see ourselves and others as we are. Currently, both fairy and this world are functioning as giant mirrors in which we see ourselves in many surprising ways. People tend to dread this because we assume that we are worse than we think we are. But this is far from necessarily true. Now is a time for finding out the false and misleading beliefs you have accepted and discovering that you are a better person than you thought and have the potential to accomplish more than you believe you could. If someone says you are better or simply different than you think you are, don't automatically reject this. Think it over carefully. You have more to give and more to enjoy than you have been giving yourself credit for. On the shadow side or opposite side, Sullivan's conundrum and fairy of aspiration have ganged up on you. They're creating cracks in your ideas about yourself so that the lights of truth may shine in. Mirrors jump out at us at unexpected reflections. The trick is learning to distinguish the distorted reflections of others' mask of untruthfulness from the clear reflection of the mask of truth. Beware of the reflections that others cast upon you and look within your own truth. Whenever someone says, "Oh, you are so ... stop and ask yourself if this is really true. It might just be their stuff, their projections, and have nothing to do with you at all." Yeah, there could very well be somebody that was like projecting onto you, or someone that, like, again, I was getting like, don't let the opinions of others like intimidate you or break you down out of your confidence to get like Be in a space where there could have been narcissistic energies here that was causing conflict and trouble and trying to like dominate over you. And truthfully, they're insecure and incapable of keeping promises. They're insecure and incapable of actually doing the type of work that you are capable of doing. And so they were intimidated and reflecting that in a ways of using, you know, their words to influence you in a way where like maybe there was half truths, or you were being half honest with yourself. I feel so many different things with that, because I feel like it's almost like you knew where deception was, or when you were deceiving yourself. In the same respect, it's like maybe you looked at maybe this person had a lot of spiritual awareness and knowledge, and you were able to ground it out in a way that they're not able to ground it out yet. Or you were really just, I'm gonna be honest, Cancer, maybe you were the one that was a little bit distorted, or maybe you were just meant to be their spiritual teacher. Like they could have been your spiritual leader, or you were meant to be their spiritual leader. Nonetheless, an ending had to come. An ending had to come. And so this message here with Mike the Myomancer is about small clues, details. The messages are everywhere, and patience. In a reading, this message stands for attention to detail is important at this time. Little things are not only important in themselves, but they also give you important information about larger things. Look for the inner, hidden meaning in ordinary objects, happenings, and experiences. Life is trying to teach you something by speaking to you gently. Your guides. That's why I wanted to put him here. With luck and application, you will get the message before it has to speak to you more loudly. Body language in humans as well as mice may give you very useful information at this present time, especially if you learn to read it properly. That's the clairvoyance energy here. The clues to the answers you seek and the things you need to know are all around you. You are surrounded by omens, signs, and portents, but the signs are not written on billboards in large letters. They are in the small happenings of your life. Be awake and aware. Hint: if you work out what the question really is, it is much easier to realize the answer when it comes. Possibly we are ignoring information readily available to us because we think the source is not important enough to pay attention to. Or perhaps we are seeing the messages and denying their validity, because we don't like them. These are very human and not very wise things to do. On the other hand, we might need to realize that while everything has meaning, not all meanings are worth worrying about. Sometimes it is important to keep the broad picture in mind and avoid getting lost in the detail. If we feel confused by too many details and can't see the storm for the raindrops, we can try backing up and looking at our overall goals and situations. Oh, this very well could have been a spiritual lesson or a spiritual guru. Like I said, yeah, I felt like maybe some of you had a spiritual guru that was helping you navigate through, like, breaking through illusions or instabilities in your life, or like trying to help you see through your true self, and you wasn't ready for the message, so you walked away, you ended that, and like you had to go into a space of like reconciling with yourself, gaining more confidence to be open to receive the message, even if you don't like the message. That's another way that this can show out. Also, so we're gonna do a final closing card here with the dragons here. Give me just a moment to readjust myself. Okay. Whoa, that was really fast. We have White Golden Dragon from Lyra. Connects you to the highest Christ light. Develop your casual chakra. Bathe in ninth dimensional Christ-like energy. In the bottom of the deck, we have Silver Luna Dragon bathes you in divine feminine energies. Come into balance and practice peace, harmony, and cooperation. Expand your casual chakra. So we have the casual chakra twice here for you. So Cancer, that is most definitely your reading. Thank you so much for allowing me to tap into you, and may it serve you for your highest and greatest good. Peace.